Heyo, it's Phylthebuilder here, and today I'm making this modern garden oasis. I put this into Oasis Springs because I wanted it to have lots of sunlight and to have really nice sunsets and sunrises as well. So I put it here just so it'd have tons of sun, but I actually think this lot would work perfectly in a lot of the other maps. So if you aren't a big fan of Oasis Springs, you can always move it around. I'm throwing some of these sort of support column type deals on the front because it has a lot of windows in the long run, and I just wanted to have a bit of structure as well. I saw this build, I was inspired by something I saw in a real estate ad, and it doesn't look like that. It's actually stucco and a lot smaller. In fact, I sort of wish I had made this smaller, but the inspiration was a bit smaller, but it just looked like it would have great sunlight, and so yeah, I wanted to give it a try building that kind of format. So here I am putting lots of windows on the front of the build, trying to get it as bright and sunny as I can. In the end though, I do really enjoy putting curtains on, so it's somewhat lost there, but that's okay because I could just take the curtains off to get some great pictures, I'm sure. But I put the garden here bumped up, sort of like a bed, a little bit raised above the ground, because I have a hard time putting grass into the Oasis Springs lots because they look a little weird from the map. So I just decided to use this little bumped up thing that I saw in one of the other backyards in this area. I had just gotten the romantic garden pack, so I was trying out a lot of that stuff, and I figured that since this is in the desert, it's sort of an oasis, and I just went crazy building this super luxurious backyard to go with this house. It's a bit much, but I think it has a really great feel to it because it kind of brings some of the stuff that's inside outside, because I have a bit of a glamorous bathroom deal that I set up later. So I think this looks great, and I always tend to play Sims that garden, so it works out well for me. If I put any Sims in here, I'll definitely have some garden stuff added as well. But here I am just throwing some kind of interest in the front of the house. I tried to make this look really nice. It's a bit symmetrical, but I tried to add a little something different by putting this pergola, this archway, outdoor archway out on the porch. I think that looked pretty cool. So I'm adding some outdoor lighting to this place because I love when the sun goes down, just everything still looks consistent, and you can go outside and still be active on the lot. So I put tons of outdoor lighting in, and yeah, that's just what I'm up to right now. Since everybody's been so nice on my videos when I talk about my plants, just wanted to share they're doing great. I have lots of great growth happening. My pumpkins are getting really big. Well, the plants, I haven't gotten any pumpkins actually growing yet. There's a whole process where you have to cut off the female flowers and like tickle them with a paintbrush or something like that. It's very it's a lot more than I thought it would be, but yeah, I've got some little pumpkin seedlings coming in and a bunch of other seedlings too. Since everybody was so nice, I thought I could share some other stuff that I'm into as well. I'm actually, well, my main thing is that I'm an artist, or I was up until recently. I had a really hard time with art because I worked at an art teaching job, and when COVID hit, I lost it, and I really identified with that job as a part of who I was. So I went through a really dark phase with art, and I'm still kind of coming out of it and trying to enjoy it again. But yeah, I really like portraits and doing pets and faces and different types of landscape. I really dabble a lot in different kinds of art too. So yeah, anyway. Here I am putting in some lights. I've got my floor plan all laid out, and I'm going for a really simple motif overall with this place. It's a lot of straight lines and muted colors. I have a lot going on in here as far as a space. I meant to make it a bit smaller, but by the time I got into this point, I was like, I've already done this whole backyard, and I think I'm just gonna go with the largeness. So I hope you're into a large house. I put this in the gallery. I just called it Garden Oasis, I believe. But it's a really nice house for maybe a 3 sim family. That's what I ended up putting in here. A late teenager or mid-teenager and a couple that's pretty active because it is a big lot and lots to do on here. But it's got 3 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms, and the 1 bedroom is massive and the other one is super pink and really cool. So if you have that kind of family vibe going, I would definitely recommend it. My gallery name is Phylthebuilder as well, so if you'd like to check out any of my builds, they're all there. I'm working on the kitchen now, just putting in this island and trying to make it nice and spacious. I think this, even though it is pretty plain color-wise, you could just change the color of one wall and bring a lot of flavor to this. So I think it's a really nice kitchen. I love building kitchens. It's one of the best rooms to build, isn't it? Well, they all have their charm, don't they? Anyway, I'm putting in some cupboards here. I always like to put those in. There's something that feels like it feels like it's missing. You know, when you first start the Sims game and you're just beginning with a small amount of money and you can't afford to do all that in the kitchen, it feels so empty. And whenever you put those in, it always just adds this like bam to the kitchen. But to be honest, I love the early parts of the game, like the struggle. So whenever I play The Sims, I always end up starting over a lot. I've said that before because I like building and I will end up wanting to build and put someone in the build. But I also really enjoy the part of the game in the very beginning when you don't have any money and you just are trying to get by. So sometimes I'll prolong it by playing part-time jobs instead of going right into careers. I don't know, does anybody else do that? Anyway. I'm just putting a storage room in the kitchen. Even though this isn't really a functional space, you don't really use the closets or the storage rooms like I like to make them. They aren't ever really touched, but I do think that they make good use of a corner that you're not sure what to do with. And since this place was so big, I felt like it was there was plenty of space to put a few closets in. And yeah, there's 3 closets overall, so it's not too bad. And I like to stack up items like this. The bins, so that it feels like just forgotten, kind of piled away stuff that you don't really take out very often. But here we go, starting on the dining room, just putting in 4 seats because this is only a 3 sim family, but obviously you could put in quite a bit more, at least 2 more seats on this table, and the dining room's big enough to potentially put in a bigger table as well. I'm trying to add a little bit of clutter, but keeping it simple at the same time, which is like, you know, you gotta find your midway between those 2 things. But the dining room is such a simple little area. I just put a few pieces of furniture in there and a rug to try to complement everything, and yeah, a painting, and that's it. But downstairs here, you can see I have this bathroom I'm starting to build here. I kind of went for like a vintage glamour feel. So in the end, there's some of those Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn type pieces of art on the wall. I forget which pack they came from, but those and this black and white kind of clean look. So I thought that sort of reflects a little bit in the backyard, all of the romantic aspects of the yard with the little sculptures and the a lot of flowers that are going on back there. But I'm just putting in the living room now. It's just fairly simple. It ends up being with browns and blues instead of this gray that I start with. But I definitely, like before, I think a little bit of clutter, maybe some family photos, some more plants or flowers, and some stuff on the walls, and this place could have so much more character. I try to keep it really simple because I noticed lately I've been doing a lot of vintage, like really cluttered builds. I've actually been streaming on Twitch a bit, some of my builds, and unfortunately I didn't record some of them, but I did like a Ghibli cottage, and that's in my gallery stuff as well. And then I also did a dark academia, like a small house with a buttload of books, just a ton of books, and it turned out really cool. I did those on stream and I didn't record them to put on YouTube, and I really wish I would have, because both of those builds were really cool. So if you're really into how they sound, I would recommend going and checking them out in the gallery. Again, it's just Phylthebuilder if you want to look. There's some pretty neat stuff. My girlfriend actually posts, well, she just recently got her own Origin account, but she used to post some of the Sims that she would make in there too. So there's some Sims mixed in that that my girlfriend's made. But yeah, I've put some clutter into this living room, and I didn't really add it in the video, but I made in the right side here a mud room that had basically a place to put your coat and some plant stock and like a bunch of junk just hanging around in there. And I also made an office, which didn't quite make it into the video. I built this for around 4 hours, so I had to cut out a few things in order to make it a reasonable length to upload on YouTube. But downstairs, yeah, there's a mud room and an office. And also in the front hall, you can kind of see there a bathroom, but that also didn't make it into the video. But here I am going upstairs, and I have this kind of grand hallway, this massive bedroom, and then the pink one that is going to end up being super themed, crafty pink theme, and it's really cute. It's one of my, well, I think is my favorite room in this place. And then in my master bedroom, the blue one here, I have a master bathroom and a closet that's just got a bit of clutter in it. Again, basically a functionless space, but it looks nice, and it's a really large room, so there's no reason not to have a little bathroom and waste of a closet off to the side there. If you ever, want to play the game where your sim changes their clothes a lot, there's a nice little area that I put in where they can like dress, like a conversation space for getting dressed. It's really cute, I think. There's also a balcony in this room, so it's ultra luxurious, and yeah, it's really a nice room. You could probably just live right in there, put a kitchen, call it a second apartment, why not? But I just ended up using the tile version of the carpet in order to put in these carpets, because I couldn't find anything that matched the room and each other well enough. So yeah, that was a sweet little thing that I found that worked pretty well for me, is those, I think they're the carpet tiles there. So I'm setting up this little dressing area with the coat rack and the shoe rack and the mirror. And sometimes I do like to make my sim a little vain, and I'll have them, change their clothes a lot. I actually, for each dressing type, daily, hot weather, cold weather, party, sleepwear, I do like 5 of each one in The Sims 4. I like to have a ton of outfits in circulation. I change their hair and makeup for each one. I love that part of the game. I realized that I could do that at one point, and I just went crazy, and now it's a huge thing that I do with every outfit, every sim. I love having tons of outfits in the circulation, and I have them try to, change their phases. Oh god, this curtain just wouldn't click on. It just, oh, Jesus. Oh, there, no, there we go. Oh, finally. Oh, but yeah, I like to have my Sims change their clothes a ton, and I have them go through different style phases, especially the young Sims. Let me know if you do that too, because I love to have them go through like a kid phase where they dress in a costume a bunch, and then an older kid phase where they start dressing more teen-like, and then a young teen phase, and then a late teen phase. I don't know if everyone does that too, but because The Sims feels like it's missing some like age growth levels there, I like added in through their wardrobe and the way they dress, like they're just figuring out their look. So that's the way I play. I love to really get into a family, but then like I said, I typically tend to abandon them. But then again, that leaves a bunch of very well thought out families all around my Sims town, so it's not a loss in my opinion. That's just how I play the game. But here's my little closet going in that I was telling you about. It's pretty simple. There's not much going on, and it doesn't end up looking like this. I take out the big dresser and hang something on the wall, but it does end up looking pretty great in my opinion. It's a good addition so that the bathroom didn't end up being too large, because it was already a pretty big bathroom and big bedroom. Of course, I could have put 2 bedrooms over here, but the house is already so big, so why not have a little bit of a dramatically large bedroom, right? So there's my little closet coming in. This also has a little computer in there, so it'd be cool to add even more work stuff to it, like some piles of documents and piles of CDs and what have you, just to make it a little more lived in, which I usually do after living in a house for a while. You know, you can add things that, like, well, of course, I think everyone adds things eventually that just give it a little more of the personality that goes with the traits that you picked and everything. Anyway, this upstairs bathroom, I went with the same theme as I did for the downstairs bathroom. It's sort of vintage glamour. I use those Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn pictures again. It's just a bit larger and has a bit more going on in it. And since it has all the windows that I have to offer in this bedroom, it's all of them are, well, not all of them, but most of them are on this wall. I have to put up a little divider so that theoretically the sim can use the toilet without just like facing right out onto the street with their butt out, you know. But I add these mirrors next to the bathtub, which I think is a great addition because it kind of continues the windows over. It makes like a faux window, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think it's kind of nice to have like a mirror near the bathtub, so you can like really have that luxury and, you know, see yourself living your best life. But yeah, so I'm putting in this little divider, of course, because you need a little bit of privacy, maybe just a bit. I know there's probably no one across the street, but you know, just for your mental, so you can play it without thinking about that. And I put in some of these fluffy carpets. I just can't wait to get over to the pink bedroom because that is just such a cool room. I think it's very playable character that I would definitely enjoy. But first I'm gonna have to go into the hallway and add some stuff out there. I didn't fully include that, but you can see there's a piano and some chairs, and I will add a few more things after this bedroom. But this bedroom is all based around that pink organizer board for Nifty Knitting, I think it was. But it's such a cool board. I never use it, and I just saw it and I was like, this could be a whole theme. This like crafty, pink, loving early teenager. So maybe she's just growing out of her young phase and her, you know, wearing a costume phase, and now she's trying to make her own YouTube channel or something. Actually, it'd be great to add the like production thing into this bedroom eventually if you ever played this house, because then she could like eventually become an influencer, and that'd be a perfect room for her. She's a crafter. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite rooms in the house, and this house is definitely pretty large, maybe a little expensive, but we all know how to do the free real estate cheat, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I've been streaming a lot lately, and I stream under the name Phil Sims on Twitch, and I have been doing it maybe a couple times a week, and I met some really great friends doing that. So if you're ever not sure, or you want to like make a few friends, or you like playing The Sims with someone nearby, I totally recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to check out my streams, of course it's Phil Sims, but I don't really have a schedule yet, so you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to eventually try streaming things like doing a puzzle, maybe a painting, because I do love painting and I love teaching art, and I already have been streaming The Sims and a bit of Stardew Valley as well, which is such a fun game if you haven't played it. I think a lot of people have played it by now, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, getting back to the build, I have some really cute pink art that I put in this room, and I love that one with the flamingo. It's definitely an adorable piece that doesn't get on my radar very often. Sometimes the best stuff you just have to sort through the colors, and I forget to do that. But I love that pink chair too with the bright colors. There's a more subdued pink that I could have used, but I just thought, you know, this one's a little wild and I like it. And this chair is a cool chair. There's some nice swatches. I love the yellow swatch of that chair. I don't know if that's a weird thing to love, but it's a beautiful chair. I've actually used it a ton in other builds. But I'm trying to make this room into kind of a messy, but like functionally messy space. So even the dressers, they sort of look like they double as storage space for other things too. So it's not even really a dresser, but you get it. She's a crafter. I put these cute little dangly boys on the window, and because it is directly across from your mom's or dad's bedroom. mom and dad's bedroom or your parents' bedroom, whatever the case. Theoretically, it's right there across, so put some a little bit of privacy there. And I'm using these little ribbons that I totally forgot existed for a long time, and as soon as I saw them I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a person who's like an achiever, you know. And same with these garland things. I ended up just using one kind of blown up, but it was such a good addition to the window because I didn't want to cover the whole window with curtains, so it's nice to just use the garland to create like an interest piece in the middle and just curtain the outside windows. And I put this little closet rack in the corner because there is no closet in this bedroom. But I imagine that this family is just, we have a lot. They have a lot. They have a big house, tons of stuff, and a grand piano. So I assume that you might have a little bit too much clothing. It makes sense to me. In fact, the piano, I tried to bring over the music theme with this guitar that's encased in a frame. So I imagine you could make the parents music lovers, or if they're the artist type, it would transfer over well, and then the kid could be a crafter. So it works pretty well for a pretty fun story. And I ended up putting some neat stuff in the hallway. Like the kid, the daughter, I assume, has kind of grown out of certain things, so maybe she just put some stuff outside of her bedroom door because it doesn't match her current bedroom theme. So I thought that was a cute touch that I've never actually done before, but I think it looked pretty cute. Yeah, you can see me doing that now. I put some toys, but I also put this little bathroom cart carousel thing. I thought it would be kind of cute to think that she just, you know, grabs it on the way to going down to the bathroom, potentially, because there's no bathroom in her room. It's in the mom's room, and I don't know if people use the bathroom that's in their parents' room or not. I've never lived in a house that large myself, but I've always imagined that it's like a secret bathroom that's full of their mess. But yeah, anyway, in the hall I'm putting some clutter, and I end up putting some art that's not hung yet, because I thought that would be a fun touch too. It's, I think, one of the pieces that you unlock through the artist career, but I built this house with the, you know, at the infinity without anyone living in it. So I thought if you download it, you definitely should put on BB Move Objects, and yeah, definitely have your items maybe unlocked. But here's the place. I have tons of screenshots of the rooms and some of the stuff that you didn't even get to see in the video. The backyard is really great, and like I said, could go into a lot of different worlds. This is my front hallway. Then we have the kitchen, which is really big and very functional. The dining room, of course, with some nice stuff up on the walls. This is the downstairs glamorous bathroom that is pretty large. And then we have the living room. Very simple, but has a little bit of nature vibes going on. And I think we have next the mudroom. Yeah, you can see it's pretty messy and cluttered, but in a good way. And there's that art crafters thing there, so you can definitely have an artist living in this house. Then the master bedroom, which is a little too big for its own good, so you could add a lot of fun things in here hobby-wise to fill it up a bit, maybe a bar or a bonsai. And then the other vintage glamour kind of bathroom that I really love this theme. And then finally, my favorite place, the teens room, which is a crafting, pink loving YouTuber to be, I imagine. But anyway, I hope you really enjoyed watching this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you soon.